Hello everybody and welcome to this, your Pisces, April 2025 reading and forecast. Hi, I'm Nigel Saint James, clairvoyant. Well, I've got a great deck for you this month. A deck which I found and not used before until today. Found in a box in my garage when I was looking for some screwdrivers to go and fix a fence earlier. And it was given to me by one of my children. They're grown up, of course, and probably my daughter, because it's found in a flea market, so she's the queen of bargain hunting and getting things, from charity shops or flea markets. And I had no idea what it was until doing some readings earlier. So what I do is I just at random pick the 12 signs, and I'll do this sign now, and I just do them all, the 12. I just do them in a row, and it takes about I don't know, 6 hours, I suppose, 6 or 7 hours. I just do them straight in a row, and the thing is that in one of the readings earlier, I had no idea what it was called. This thing in the middle popped out. Now you'll see it's got the same back on it, so I assume it's meant to be with the thing, and it's actually a handwritten signed thing saying enjoy Tabula Mundi Tarot, Coloris Arcus 2, so from M.M. Meline. And M.M. Meline, copyright, what is it, 2016 on it. So it's several years old, the deck. Now, given that so all this time I had a deck in there which has actually been signed by the developer. So given that has been signed by the developer, I assume that this is an independent deck. But Tabula Mundi, I suppose, is a good clue as to what the thing is called. I would imagine, having found that in the middle of it. Because as you know, I never hang on to boxes or anything like that, because it's just the way I am. Now, you know, of course, that I provide clairvoyant readings to people all over the world via FaceTime and Skype. So if you want to know what's going to be happening in the future in relation to things that are going on in your life, just check out the information that's in the description. Or if you're curious, have a look and see what's in the description. Now, I charge for those. I have to. I've got expenses. And they go for about an hour and a half, an hour and 3/4 as a general rule. But there's another thing which I also provide, and they're done by FaceTime and Skype wherever you may be in the world. And literally I do people all over the world. And I also do from all over the world, over FaceTime and Skype, the spiritual gift of healing, which takes about 45 minutes, sometimes out to an hour, depending on what we're talking about. Look, that's for free. The thing is that for whatever reason, I got touched, obviously, at birth, and later discovered that I had this gift which comes through me and not from me, as you would understand, and you can fill in the dots as to where it comes from. The point being is that I have a sole duty to provide it, that is, to be a vehicle through which the compassion, relief and healing and love of the beloved can come through to us in relation to situations that are causing us distress, physical, emotional, mental, everything that you can think of. And I can assure you that in over 4 decades of doing this for free for people, then there isn't anything that I haven't encountered. But I forget everything at the end of a session anyway. Now, as I say, it is no strings attached. There's no obligation. You're not going to get sold or recommended. You're not going to get on an email list, and you're not going to be bombarded by anything from me. So if it's calling out to you, and I say, don't be shy if it is, because look, it's hundreds of people here have taken advantage of it, and it's my sole duty, and I want to do what I'm supposed to do while I'm here, because I don't want to come back again. Not that I haven't enjoyed my life. I've had a life of ups and downs like everybody. But I've had my money's worth. Now, let me take some of these. There are no ads in this content, so you get to enjoy it direct. Now, show me the magic. 7 of Swords. Here is Queen of Wands. I'm glad that's shown up there in that position. Here is Lust. What else is there? Adjustment. Very interesting adjustment. You see, I mean, these are all new to me, really, so it's going to be a good journey for us both. And there's the Six of Swords. Right. Why don't you come and sit down here next to me? I'll also bring the camera around so other people can see. And you and I can have a look at the artwork on these things together. I'll point out a couple of things, but not too many, or we'll run out of time. The cosmic energies are going to swirl. Speak to us both, and I'll do the reading for you. Here we go. Okay, a lot of sensitivity, vulnerability around you. I'm going to start with this first card. I'll show you the back of the card, incidentally, because sometimes people like to have a look at the backs of cards. In some independent decks, which I suspect this is, then they often have good backs, and you can have a quick look at those. This word here says abrahadabra. Now, that was a word that came up with by that guy, Aleister Crowley. Crowley was a so-called mystic in his own mind, and he said that abrahadabra was the magic word as opposed to abracadabra that we're all familiar with in our childhood. And speaking of childhood, I've read all of his stuff, and it is very childish. There's nothing deep at all about it. He is obscure, but that obscurity is not because there's anything profound behind it. It's because there isn't anything behind it. But I'm not surprised. He was a poor wretch of a heroin junkie and cocaine and different opium and different things. I'm not going to deal with that first. I'm going to deal with this. Let's have a look at this. Now, lust here actually doesn't mean the lust in the ordinary sense of the word. It means a lot of sensitivity around here. It means you really having a lust for life, engaging in life itself. Now, the signs associated with it are, unsurprisingly, Leo. And this Hebrew letter here, that's Teth, which is the 9th letter of the Hebrew alphabet. Now, I'm not Jewish myself, but of course, being a bit of a geek, I took it on to learn some Hebrew language for some reason years ago. And this has the literal meaning of basket or nest. And it's the symbol of the good in all of creation, and has to do with purity and impurity, and teaches us to choose between the good, of course, and the bad. And it's the realization that even within the bad things that happen, there is a hidden good. It also represents femininity, pregnancy, and it includes the kindness and mercy of creation, and the principle that everything is eternal, everything, and nothing is ever lost. Now, Leo here, Leo ruled by the sun. Well, you will have a multi-dimensional creativity, great talent, strength from this lion. Your spirit is blooming here. More particularly, and thanks to this lion here, this is a demonstration that you are overcoming old fears and conditionings. This is, in a sense, a representation of divine intoxication, which this woman presumably is getting stuck into here. The lion also has the great desire to go and achieve and hunt. Look at that look in its eye there. So you will have great courage, I think, a great strength, a control over your life forces. I do, however, see a great love affair and the deepening of existing settled love relationships. You might also find that you have a particular passion for a situation or a pastime, just because you like doing it without overthinking it, and you'll be comfortable with your physical desires and engaging in life to the fullest. You see, this is talking about engage with life to the fullest. And when we get to this, you'll see why this is in the center here as it is and why I've come to it first. I think you'll be accepting your physical desires for what they are, rejoicing in them, but not letting them throw your life off balance. There is this passionate relationship I can see here with physical and emotional intensity here. Now, if you are ready to accept all which you find within yourself, you are going to be able to move through everything with deep sensitivity, awareness, love, and understanding. Yeah, the energy that's coming around here, it's coming through in colours and symbols. It's really about sensuality, is what I see for you this month. How can I put it? Maybe I'll put it in a way which is in a sort of a story form. And it's like this. Sensuality does not wear a watch, but she always gets to the essential places on time. She's adventurous and not particularly quiet. And she was probably reprimanded in grade school because she couldn't sit still all day long. She needs to move, and she thinks with her body. Even when she reads, she can't help but read out loud. And as you might imagine, she may well be a disaster in confining jobs. Sensuality, I think, has exquisite skin, and she appreciates it in others as well. There are other people whose skin is soft and clear and healthy, but something about sensuality's skin announces that she is alive. And when the sun bursts forth in May, sensuality likes to take off her shirt and feel the sweet warmth of the sun's rays brush across her shoulder. I don't think this is actually a provocative gesture, but other people, as usual, get upset about things. I think she was probably scolded as a little girl for running around barefoot. I think sensuality likes to make love at that fine line where time and space change places. Do you understand? And when she is considering a potential lover, she takes him to the ocean and watches him. Does he dance with the waves? Does he tell her about the time he slept on the beach when he was 17 and woke up in the middle of the night to look at the moon? Does he laugh and cry and notice how big the sky is? Well, it is spring now in the northern hemisphere, and sensuality is very much in love these days. And her new friend is very sweet, climbing into bed the first time. He confesses that he is a little intimidated about making love with her, but sensuality just laughs and says, "But we've been making love for days." Where shall we go? I'm getting such sensuality and vulnerability around, and I think this vulnerability might be showing here. I don't know. Let me let it seep up into me. Well, it's Libra, and here's another one of those Hebrew letters, and this is the 12th letter of that alphabet. It's called Lamed, and it's the symbol of learning. Now, literally, I suppose it's like a stick or an ox goad that they used to poke cattle with to get them to move. And what it is saying to us mystically is that learning is mostly done with the heart and soul, not just the mind. And it indicates that spiritual learning is the heart of human existence. Our course in life is to learn and express spiritual teachings and practice with every breath of life. Now, from a predictive point of view, I see you going through a period of centering, a sort of a balancing of opposites here, the suspension of taking action, while you work out what is the best decision for you to make. So there's an objectivity here, standing back. It could also be involved with lawsuits related to marriages or contracts or things like that, I think. But you'll be taking stock of your life to see what is useful and what should be let go. And you'll be thinking clearly ahead.
And be aware that all actions have consequences, but you'll be getting a clear vision of possibilities and choices ahead of you and applying your insights, those insights that you've gained so far in your life, to lead a balanced life. And I think you'll discover and follow your true path and what gives your life the most meaning. But I'm looking at this lady here, and in the position, it looks like she's on the ice. Well, I think that you'd have to say that although she's confident at what she's doing, she's nevertheless very vulnerable out there in the rink, the skating rink, by herself. Now, I think you might think that the problem when you are a strong, capable, self-confident person is that more often than not, people think that you don't really need things like comfort, reassurance, loyalty, and guidance. People are really more likely to look at you and say, oh, look, she doesn't need this, he doesn't need that. She's already had all of this and all of that. But then the truth is that most probably you are a strong, capable, self-confident person because you built yourself brick by brick into that person, because you had to become that person, because you had determination enough to make yourself into the image that you knew you needed to become. And I think here for you, you're going to come to the realization this month that at the heart of many strong, confident people is a heart most longing of the things that most others simply take for granted. I think this is also saying to you for this month that there isn't anything more efficient than honesty, and nothing more powerful than vulnerability, because vulnerability reveals everyone in your life who will abuse power immediately. Now, there's nothing weaker than hiding your vulnerability, because it means a refusal to stare at those who abuse power and see them for whom they are, which means that they still have a power and a control over you. You see, nothing, this is saying here, I think, nothing with her athleticism, nothing is stronger than vulnerability, nothing more clarifying, nothing is clearer than vulnerability. And if you hide who you are just making a tombstone of your everyday actions, because you don't exist in hiding and you're letting the past rob you. Exercise the power of vulnerability. When you are vulnerable, you are signaling to your system, your body, your mind, that the past is over and done. That you are no longer a victim, that you are no longer trapped in destructive environments or abusive environments. Vulnerability means it's over, it's done. The war is over, but if you continue to use the same defenses that you had in the past, all that you're telling your whole body is that the past is not over. Be vulnerable, be honest, be open and show your heart. That's the best way of telling your heart that there are no longer any lions lurking in the long grass about to attack you. Vulnerability and openness will get you what you want in your life. And hiding will only get you the feeling of being the prey from here until the end of your life. Now I'm going to turn to that other card that I looked at first, but these other things tell you just why Your perception of things is just not what the reality is. And here is what? This is the moon in Aquarius. Well, the emotions of the moon really cloud the intellectual qualities of Aquarius, and so Aquarius is weakened, and maybe there is from time to time gives you a sense of a lack of clarity, because this does speak to discouragement, despondency, fears about existence, or negative expectations. Now this moon, which is huge here, that has for me a great association with the unconscious or the subconscious. And so perhaps there are gloomy subconscious expectations that are muddying your insight into things, so that there could be an anxiety prevailing, even though in reality, as we've seen, everything is going perfectly well. Now, if I can use the planets as a model here, Neptune might say, everything seems to be clouded by a film or a veil. I just don't know what I really want. Venus might say, but it's all just too good to be true. Mars might say, I haven't the energy, there's no time, I'm already too old. And Jupiter will say, that's too much good at once, I could never cope with so much success. Now that flighty planet of Mercury may well be saying, I just can't get the point across properly. And Saturn may well say, it's simply too much trouble and it takes too long. Look, these literally destructive thoughts, they don't need to be taken seriously by you at this time. You've seen what's around and there's more to come. Wake up and see what's really happening here. Get rid of this self-doubt. Take action. Make use of the talents that you are given here. I think it's subconscious doubts which are prevailing, but this is saying to make use of the talents to live life. How else might I put this? Now, I think that you would agree with me that the ideal situation for a man or woman to die in is to have family members praying with them as they cross over. Now imagine, if you will, being on your deathbed, and standing around your bed are the ghosts of the dreams, the ideas, the abilities, the talents given to you by life, and that you, for whatever reason, you never went after that dream. You never leant in for that kiss. You never said those words. You never used those gifts. And imagine, if you will, that there they are, standing around your being, these ghosts, looking at you with large angry eyes and saying, we came to you and only you could have given us life. And now we must die with your body forever in an unholy miscarriage. And imagine, if you will, what love, what words, what gifts will die with you. Their own miscarriage will be your bodily death. The greatest wealth does not lie in the oil fields of the Middle East or the gold fields of Australia. It lies in the cemeteries, the greatness we have never seen, the joy never passed on, the words of sweet love never spoken, and the talents, large or small, never actualized. But you know, I think you do pull yourself together out of that mental funk, because these are thoughts after all, and thoughts are pictures that you paint in your own mind and you put the words around them. You understand that? That's what a thought is. You've made the picture and you've put the words around it, and the most powerful words you'll ever hear in your life are the words that you tell yourself. They become a self-fulfilling prophecy. But I think you do organize yourself here, because here we have Mercury in Aquarius. Very scientific sort of a thing going on here, isn't there? Well, this airy planet of Mercury is finding itself in the fixed sign of Aquarius. I'm pretty sure Mercury might be exalted in Aquarius, if I'm not mistaken. Now, so its ability to think and to analyze and to be objective and to talk about things and to communicate is at its highest here with you now. So I think you do stand back. You do start thinking about, what am I thinking about? What decisions can I make? Understand this. Opportunity doesn't wait for the unprepared. Doesn't hang around waiting for the unprepared. But you'll have a great ability to analyze and unify ideas, and I think now that you are getting an all-encompassing vision, an all-embracing understanding, and an objectivity, mental clarity, using your mind. Could be some relocation going on here for somebody, but there's a period of calmness ahead. I think this clarity that you get comes about through learning from difficult experiences that you've had in the past. Because you've grown through some tough times, I think, haven't you? But now you've got a handle on life and can make intelligent decisions which are for the benefit of your life. Grab hold of that ring. No one gives anything to you. You've got to take it. I think there's a greater level of awareness to your thinking and actions during this month. I think it also means here that there's a situation that you have not really been able to come to grips with. It's now getting better. You're now thinking out a better approach in dealing with a situation. I think you do possess the ability now to understand things on different levels and from different perspectives. Now, where are and what are the ruts in your life? Trust your insight. And this is a time now where you really can say that the rose of recognition blossoms in my heart. And that takes us finally, I think, to this, which, this has got Pisces all over it. Could be an Aries around in your life as well. I won't go into all the imagery here. It's quite straightforward, I think. Now, Pisces, well, of course you'll be sensitive and have inspiration, but there's an Aries around here. And I think this Aries energy is giving you leadership and self-confidence. There's some self-knowledge, change, and compassion of yourself. You always have a fresh start. The beloved specializes in fresh starts, and who you were yesterday is not who you are today, nor who you have the potential to be tomorrow. It's not that the chapter has closed, a book has closed, and a new book is opening up. And on the first page there, it's empty and brilliant and white, just ready for you to start writing in what you want and create a new ending for yourself. Now, you'll have an immense capacity for friendship and love, but this is really going to be on the basis that you have filtered. You filter very... You really do filter who you will be letting into your life. Now, some people might see this as a sort of a self-complacent vanity or even a snobbery. Now, it's possible during this month that you might brood, you might be sitting around brooding, thinking of revenge, and may possibly come to the wrong decision as a result, and react with savagery. Look, and I make no judgment on this, but you might be quick to take offence and harbour revenge, but possibly without good cause. I'm just getting this feeling here that there could be times when you kind of feel a bit down, where you have the blues, and which you medicate with the booze, which can also produce panic-stricken outbursts of ill-considered fury. If I was going to say this, I'd say that you are either the leading man or the leading woman of the American theatre on Broadway, because you will go through the process of self-discovery and remember your power. Now, you did get here by resolving difficulties in the past. Look at you. You're a stronger character. It's time to express your power and beauty now and to move on from the past. You will know what you want. You'll have an active life. And my word, I think you just are going to be creating a very powerful first impression. Say this to yourself because it is true for you now that I am a child of the beloved and I am a radiant being filled with light and love. What a fantastic set of cards for you. It's so much better for you being here.
I told you those cards were good, did I not? Aren't they fascinating, the imagery that's on them? I hope you enjoyed that reading as much as I enjoyed providing it to you, because I was delighted by it, I've got to say. Now, unless I see you privately, either for a clairvoyance reading or for a healing, then I'll see you here again next month. Until then, though, remember one thing, and it is this, that you are a legend. And I look forward to seeing you again next time. And until then, it's bye for now.